So we're starting out where we left off. I'm leaving Hatay and spending a night in Gaziantep and then ending up in Sanliurfa. I think I got it. I've been practicing. Thanks. So as I was leaving Hatay, I saw this building that had been wrecked from the earthquake. And then there's a lot more rural area that I'm driving through here. And these folks are picking onions or potatoes or something. I think it probably onions. Lots of agricultural stuff going on in this area. Look at all these tractors and combines and stuff. Really cool, and again made me think of Colorado, and then especially the Midwest and stuff. But pretty awesome to see, and they were selling a lot of vegetables along the road, but in giant, huge, like 50-pound bag. Family of 3 on this motorcycle. And then this is kind of the episode of crazy motorcycle stuff. So there's these 2 guys who we played back and forth for quite a while. And the operator of this motorcycle, he was a little bit crazy, but he is going to film us as we're riding along. He's got all 3 of us I can see it on his phone, all 3 of us in the camera there. And we're going, 50, 60 miles an hour? Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. He was a wild dude, but it was fun. And here he is messing with this other guy at the stoplight, and he gives him a cone for like an ice cream cone, and they speed off at the red light. Oh my gosh. Hey, again, very agricultural area. A little joke there. And then started climbing, getting up in the mountains, a little bit more like hills than mountains. And it's so funny, I was thinking, like, going across the plains and things, like, so easy to picture giant camel trains, and the trading that went on in this area, and the people groups that moved through for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. This area is so incredibly old, and we're going to get more into that in another episode, but it was beautiful hills. And here's the camels. I was thinking of it, and then some camels showed up in a camel train. And it's such a part of this area, this incredible history. And and there's some flowers here under the underpasses. I thought that was kind of cool to have those. There's some more in a different one. And now we're really getting into the city of Gaziantep.
Hello. United States.
That kind of interaction at a stoplight happens constantly. So this is me getting to my hotel and parking my bike close to the front door. This was a good stopover, fun. It was made for a short ride that day, and I just love this sound. The engine cutting out and the kickstand going down. Cool manhole cover. And the elevators are pretty small in Turkey. This is my gear and me, and there is no room for anyone else in that elevator. Kind of fun. Saw this on my way to look for a restaurant. It's like, maybe I could teach English if I needed to. This was an interesting meal. I didn't know how to eat it. It was super good. I ate it all, and I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I was doing it correctly. If anybody has any tips, let me know, but I really enjoyed the food. I saw this Lebowski, and I had to send that to my friend Mike, and those of you who know. Then this concert started up outside my hotel room window. Fortunately, I was tired enough, and the soundproofing was good enough that it didn't keep me awake. Then I left the next day, and there was a castle in town that I wanted to go explore. And so I started making my way there, managed to go the right way down the streets, which was pretty impressive. I was pretty impressed with myself, and made my way towards the castle. Riding in the cities in Turkey is such an adventure. There's so much to see, and there's so much happening. I feel like I It's kind of perilous most of the time, but and I have to kind of build up my courage to do it. I like psych myself up to get out and ride in the city, but I do it. I get it done, and I don't think people get too upset with me, and I manage to get where I want to go eventually. I can see the castle up here on the hill, really cool, but it was closed for renovation. It was going to be closed for months, but again, I easily picked up conversations with people, and took this kid really likes motorcycles and wanted to take a picture with me, and it was fun and all that stuff. And here's some of the castle again. And then there were this group of older guys sitting on the bench next to my motorcycle. And when I first parked, I went over and asked them via Google Translate if they would take good care of my motorcycle. And they looked at me kind of horrified. And then I said I was just joking and just being silly. And then they actually laughed, and it was kind of fun. Here's some more of the castle, a huge part of the city's history and a big current attraction for them. A lot of activity around this castle. And then I had another interaction in traffic.
American.
America.
Yeah.
Bundan mı geldin diyor. Bundan mı geldin diyor.
Sorry, only English. Sorry.
Then the nut orchard started. There were nut trees everywhere. And in the city, people were selling huge containers full of nuts everywhere, all these different shops, all kinds of walnuts, pistachios, so on and so forth. It was really a big deal. And there was just miles and miles of these groves or orchards. I don't know what they're called for nut trees, but really cool. And then this is a different city on this river. There's a fortress there that was in ruin, but a huge river, and I'm sure was a key to the economic success of this place. Really beautiful, cool area, and lots of flags along the bridge, of course. Super fun. And then we kind of crawl out of this little river valley, get back up on top again. More orchards or nut groves or whatever they're called, I'm not sure. I'm sure one of you knows, let me know. This went on for miles and miles. And then there was a cow tied up to this tree feeding there. And then I saw this woman walking her cow, and I'm assuming she was taking it somewhere to feed like that other cow. And then here's like a tractor, and then a little bit later, here's literally a horse-drawn carriage. And then I loved all these flowering bushes in the median. That was so awesome. What fun detail to have on your highways. And then there was a donkey tied up out in the middle of nowhere. Poor guy. And if anybody knows what this is, this was kind of curious to me. Yeah, please let me know in the comments. Continuing the crazy motorcyclist theme, there's this little guy here who was speeding all around in and out of traffic and stuff. And then on the straightaways, I would pass him, and then he'd catch up at the traffic lights and so on and so forth. So this was kind of another dangerous yet interesting interaction. So keep your eye on him. We're going along the straightaway, and then I'm able to pass him. Then there he is again, and let's watch this. And that's actually super dangerous, so kids, don't try that at home. Then I got into the city of Sanliurfa. I think I'm saying that kind of close. And just another huge metropolis, over 600,000 people. Really a neat city. And again, the intense city traffic in Turkey, and the different types of roads and things that get very narrow very quickly. And then there was this cemetery. It was super cool. Looked like it was huge, went on for a long way, but really, really beautiful. And then start getting into these extremely narrow roads that are only for motorcycles and scooters. Some of them you can get a car into, but check this out. Look how intense this is. So I'm about ready to actually pass my hotel here without knowing it. And I go by it and I can't figure it out. The GPS is telling me something different again. And so I'm kind of frustrated. And so I pull over and start to try to make sense of what was happening. And all of a sudden these kids like appear all around me. Now, I asked if I could take a picture later, and one of the older girls was like, well, you can't take a picture of her, him, or her. And I was just like, okay, I got a picture with some of the younger ones, but I'm not posting that on the internet. And here's the front of my hotel room. But those kids were crazy helpful and got me back to my hotel. There's the Bactrian parked in a safe spot, covered and everything. Here's my hotel room. And yeah, the adventure continues next episode. Thank you, you amazing people, for following along and enjoying this adventure with me. I really appreciate your companionship. It makes a big difference when I'm on the road. Thank you for supporting me, and it makes such a difference in my daily life. Here's a little preview of what's to come in the next video. Peace and love to you all.